when you're training, you do things like a bent over row or a deadlift where your bum has to stick out and you're not worried about, oh, someone's staring at my ass right now.
So it used to really bother me. I would sometimes go into the gym and then just leave that area and maybe just try and find a quieter part of the gym.
Building confidence by building your knowledge.
I've been on the leg press once and I've let one rip.
And all we care about is other people being supportive of you. And the other thing I'd add to that is have a program that's built around what you feel comfortable doing and what you like doing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. It's like it gears you up. You're like, yes, like I'm capable, I'm powerful, I'm strong. Welcome to the Stronger, Fitter, Happier podcast. I'm your host Vin, and today I am joined by the beautiful, wonderful, magnificent Body and Beyond coaches, Nikhil and Sadie.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Why do you say it like that? All right. Today's no, you don't. You could just we could just go with it anyway. Today's podcast is all about gym confidence. So basically, if you're someone who lacks confidence in the gym, someone who's basically feels uncomfortable in that kind of environment where there's lots of people working out, people who may know what they're doing, and you're a beginner or you're someone who's just new to the gym or you just genuinely don't feel comfortable in a gym environment, this podcast is for you because we're going to be talking about it and talking about our experiences and also how you can become more confident in a gym and gain more experience and also just enjoy it and being there a bit more. So, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was Bank Holiday Monday this week that just went. Actually, when you're listening to this, it will be last week, but it was Bank Holiday Monday. I was in the gym and obviously because it's a Bank Holiday Monday, everyone's off. It's going to be quite busy. So I went in, I was quite shocked because normally it's quite quiet when I go. So there's it's quite a big gym, so there's quite a lot of people even during COVID. It was, I don't know, in the area that I was, which is upstairs in the weight area, free weights areas. Those are like weight racks. There's squat racks everywhere, loads of dumbbells, loads of benches. It's quite, I don't know, there's a lot of equipment to use. It's the strength area of the gym basically, and there's probably around 30 guys in there, 30 males. I'm training, we're getting on with the workout, and a lady comes in with her partner. Maybe not even partner. They seem like they were partners. So they both come in together, and everyone more or less just stared at her. So all the guys just looked at the girl and then carried on, I guess, going about what they were doing. And I know if a man had come in, that probably wouldn't have happened. And it instantly made me think, about my mum, my partner, my daughters, coming into a gym that's like where there's loads of guys, and how would they feel? Would they feel comfortable? Would they feel invited? Would they feel invited in that environment? And I don't think they would. It made me quite sad because everyone should be allowed to look after their health and fitness. Everyone should feel, welcome in an environment like that. And that's why we do what we do and why we're looking to open our own space and stuff and where we run our sessions and stuff. We want every female, every lady, every man, mum, dad, doesn't matter who you are, we want you to come into our environment, be able to train without worrying about what you look like, without worrying about what people think of you, without worrying about, I don't know, if when you're training, you do things like a bent over row or a deadlift where your bum has to stick out and you're not worried about, oh, someone's staring at my ass right now. Things like that. So I just thought, I'll bring it up on the podcast. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see if you guys have had any experiences like that. It'd be great to hear from both of you. Particularly Sadie, you're a lady who's experienced that kind of thing probably, I assume, which is not a good thing to assume because it would be nice if you hadn't experienced that, but I presume you have.
Yeah. To be honest, I do experience that a lot still now. When I first got into kind of training and first started in this kind of industry, it really used to bother me. And I kind of used to think, is it because of what I'm wearing? Is it like, am I asking for it? Do you know what I mean? I used to think, is it because I'm wearing a sports bra? Is it because I'm wearing these tight leggings kind of thing? I used to think, is it me that's, am I asking for this going into a gym environment? So it used to really bother me. I would sometimes go into the gym and then just leave that area and maybe just try and find a quieter part of the gym. Now, so not so much. Like, I think now, because I have a bit more confidence in the gym, it wouldn't, I kind of just take it on the chin. If it happens, it happens, but it doesn't bother me anymore. It wouldn't affect my confidence going in, but it definitely used to, especially when I was kind of first into training and it was all quite new to me.
It's quite sad that you actually think, well, you thought like that, like, oh, is it my fault?
Yeah, like, and it does sound silly. And even when I say it now, it's like, oh, like, what? Why should I feel that way? But I did used to think that. I think, am I asking for people to look at me because I'm wearing tight leggings? Am I asking for this because I'm wearing a sports bra and my belly's hanging out? Do you know what I mean? And now I don't care really. Like, like I'll wear what I feel confident in now and it doesn't bother me. But that is how I used to feel.
It's like if a guy was wearing a vest, he probably wouldn't be made to feel that way. Like, probably it just wouldn't even come on his radar. Like, am I asking for, I don't know, people to look at me or people to judge me because I'm wearing a vest? It just do it. They would just do it. And for a lady to have to like consider what she wears, it's quite sad. I presume it happens all the time, like going out, getting ready for an event. And I know for a fact it happens a lot, even in like in cultural things, like, like, oh, am I showing too much sleeve? Like, not even in a gym thing or like going out late at night or things like that. Like, I guess as a lady, you just have to consider these things that males don't.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for someone who, like that lady that came into the gym that you saw, Vinay, I don't know how it affected her and we don't know how she felt, but she could have easily left the gym and not done her workout. It could have easily negatively affected her in that moment in time, which for a lot of people, I'm sure it does. So it's horrible to feel like actually what you want to do, you want to be in the gym, you want to get on with whatever you want to do. It's horrible to feel like something like that can put you off and maybe even stop people from going. Yeah,
it actually, do you know what? It made me not want to go to the gym that I go to. Not that I feel uncomfortable in that environment, but it's more so that I was like, oh, like, it's not something that I want to be a part of. Like, I don't want to be like, painted with that brush. Yeah, painted with that brush, basically. And I only go to it mainly because of convenience, and it has everything I need. And it's on the way home from, my daughter's nursery, and that's how I like to train. Like, come home from a nursery, do the nursery run and then train. And I recommended my partner to go there as well, myself. I was like, oh, like, it's quite quiet in the day, you'll probably like it. There's lots of space, there's lots of equipment. But she said she didn't go there. She goes to a closer gym that's a lot smaller to our house. It's a lot smaller, and she goes there, even though it's got less equipment, poorer equipment. She could probably have a better workout in that space. It's because there's less people in there. So, without the easiest advice to give someone, a lady, or even a man who's feeling self-conscious would be, oh, just go somewhere that's makes you feel comfortable, like a quiet gym, or like a space that is not like, packed with people, or the people are friendlier. But I think that's bad advice. Yeah. It's really shitty advice, because it's like telling, I don't know, a lady, don't go out late at night because there's more danger for you because you're a lady.
Why should something else dictate what you do?
Yeah, what if she works as a night worker? And I don't mean like a night worker like that. I mean like doing late nights at work. What if that's what she does? And what you're telling her, she can't earn a living and provide for her family or do what she makes her happy because of other people.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend to someone who actually does feel insecure. Well, maybe not even insecure, actually, just uncomfortable in an environment where they feel they're not welcome, or they may be stared at, or, just made to feel uncomfortable.
I think this might sound like, it's easier said than done. But I think one is remember that you're there to do whatever you need to do, and just think about that when you're going. Like, don't worry about anyone else. Try and focus on what you need to do, but also to build on that confidence so you feel like a bit more comfortable in that area. Just know more about what you're there for, what you're doing. So the more kind of you have a plan of what you're doing when you go, you can just kind of knuckle down and get on with it and not really focus on what's going on around you.
I definitely agree with you. Like, that whole building confidence by building your knowledge does help.
Yeah.
It definitely does help, because it may not help with the whole thing of like, are people staring at you because you're a female? And like, I keep using the word female. I know, like, sometimes it gets, people don't like being called female. They either like being called women or ladies or whatever. But anyway, I just said that term. So hopefully I haven't offended anyone. But what I mean is, if you're a lady who's being stared at and stuff, that may not help you feel more comfortable in an environment like that. But if you're just feeling a bit vulnerable and a bit kind of scared of going into a space because you don't feel confident in yourself and your own abilities of what you're going to do, I definitely think that one would help for anyone, whether you're a man or a woman. Because I definitely know from experience, Nikhil, I don't know about you, but when you start as a beginner, you start as someone who's not typically how most people look in a gym, or how you expect most people to look in a gym. Because most people who go to a gym go because they're trying to make an improvement on their own body, whether it's the way they look or feel, or strength or fitness or whatever, or health. They're going to do something positive to their life. So you get all different types of shapes and stuff and sizes at the gym. But most people, when they think of going to a gym, maybe back in the day, especially like 10 years back, you thought of like guys pumping lots of weight, built, ripped bodies and like that sort of thing, like a bodybuilder style kind of, that's the image you get. Unless you went somewhere that wasn't like that. So I definitely think at that stage, when I was new, when I was like unconfident, didn't lack much, I lacked a lot of knowledge in what to do in the gym, and I was overweight and didn't feel like I looked the part to be in a gym. I definitely feel that getting more confidence, understanding what I was doing, getting more confidence by understanding what I was doing helped me out. Like, knowing what types of exercises to do, having a program to follow. Getting support from some of the trainers who work there, with having a program written for me, so I know that I wasn't doing something wrong, and people aren't going to stare at me and go, "Oh, that guy doesn't know what he's doing," or things like that. How about you, Nikhil?
So man, I've had I can't speak for those experiences where I felt like really uncomfortable due to people like looking at me, but I was one of those people that I hate gyms. Gym isn't for me, sort of thing. Purely from a confidence perspective, just like you said, thinking that gyms were for these like hardcore bodybuilder types, and that if I was to go into the gym like the way that I was back then, like 100 kilos plus, like I just hated the way I looked, the way that I felt and stuff like that. I would go there covered up as well, just because I thought people would be looking at me, and if I did something wrong, that people would laugh at me. I mean, this is coming from the guy that would avoid PE at all costs as well. So, I would take shortcuts on road run and stuff like that. and forget my PE kit on purpose. And, so this was a big deal, sort of, taking the leap to go to a gym. I mean, I hated exercise at all costs. So that thing of, fuck, everyone's looking at me was very, very real. But like you, it's sort of, the confidence came through knowledge, and still to this day, don't get me wrong, I do some silly things in the gym. And I think, Vinay, you've got a video of me many years ago tripping over some step-up blocks and stuff like that. I even as a PT, I still do like silly things in the gym. Like, you know, I'll forget to put the clips on either end of my bar and like it'll drop off. And I still have those moments of like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me. I've been on the leg press once and I've let one rip. So I don't know. I think those moments of like feeling like everyone's going to look at you and having those embarrassing moments, even as you get knowledge and as you become more experienced, they will happen. But I've started to take them on the chin a little bit more. Like, and I know it's not completely the same. I can't compare it to how it must feel like being looked at in the gym and feeling really, really intimidated. But once you have the knowledge and you don't see going to the gym as this big, overwhelming, serious thing, and you're able to go there and take things on the chin, just as I like, you know, not putting clips on and letting things drop off and everyone look at me and thinking, oh my God. It's just, it's just a lot easier and a lot more like welcoming for me. So, yeah.
Do you have any other tips in terms of like building confidence in that situation? And like, because I definitely agree with Nico on what you're saying. It's about like kind of spending time getting over it and dealing with it. But if you're someone who's had a very negative experience in the past with harassment and things like that, like, you may not even want to take that chance of spending time doing things like that. Like, how do you overcome that? And I'm not saying you should have an answer, Sadie, or even Nico or me, but do you have anything to add for that?
Maybe something that might help is like maybe having a personal trainer and get as someone maybe just so that when you go to the gym, you're not on your own. So like, at least you can learn from someone, you know, you're doing it right. That might give you that confidence at the beginning. And then at least then once you've done, even if you did it short term, at least that might then build your confidence to continue, or going with someone as well. So that rather than stepping in an environment, being on your own and feeling uncomfortable, well, then if you're with someone, whether it's a friend, partner, family member, whatever, that might just make you feel a little bit more comfortable in that situation at the time. So maybe those couple of things might help.
No, that's a great bit of advice, actually. A great tip. Is one that is sad that you have to give. Again, in an ideal world, that would never happen. But yeah, like, it's just one of those things that definitely would work for someone, I guess. Going in a group or going with a few friends or just one friend that maybe knows a bit more what they're doing, has a bit more confidence than you. And then that way you could just kind of like steal a bit of their confidence almost with the being safe in the knowledge that you're both, you know that your friend knows what they're doing or your trainer knows what they're doing and they're not going to put you through something stupid. Yeah. And then you feel comfortable at least with that one person, and it can just kind of just take away that discomfort you have a little bit.
Because walking in an environment, I was just going to say, walking in an environment like that, especially when you're not confident, and it is so like difficult on your own. So like when you've got that person there with you, it just takes a bit of that pressure off, I think.
Have you done that before, or have you used that?
Yeah, loads of time. Like even like, for example, when I first started, like I wouldn't go to, I don't know if you guys know Evolve Gym. I wouldn't go on my own. I'd only go with my partner because I didn't feel confident going to a new gym, and I've trained all the time. I knew what I was doing, but it was the fact that the environment had changed for me. The people are kind of different there to what I was used to at the gym before. A lot of a younger crowd that there was there. So again, it made me feel a little bit nervous. So in that situation, I wouldn't go on my own. I'd only go with Leon to the gym. Maybe now it might be different because I've been a few times. But in that situation, when the environment changed for me, I definitely felt like I needed someone with me.
It's quite like whenever you go to a new gym, I think it's going to be one of those situations for I don't know about anybody. Maybe some people are very confident in their own selves and they can carry themselves wherever they go. But like, I know what it was like as well when I trained at one gym for about, I don't know, 8 years. I remember it closed for a week because of a flood. And I went to another gym and I was so self-conscious. I'd even changed my program a little bit to not do certain exercises, things like that. Yeah, but I guess it's you got to do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think anything new is going to feel quite daunting for anybody. It's just about getting there, getting it done, overcoming that like kind of new phase, and then you don't feel the same way. Unless obviously people are making you feel uncomfortable. And in that situation, I would honestly say speak up, because unless you do, like if someone is genuinely making you feel uncomfortable, they keep staring at you, things like that. Like most guys, I know for a fact, if I was someone who did look at someone or stare at someone, if she turned around and said, "What are you looking at?" I would feel like, I would be like, I didn't know where I would put my face. I would feel so uncomfortable. I'd probably apologize and walk away like, sorry, if I was like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you may not have the confidence to do that, but I guarantee most guys would probably just be a bit like, oh my God, and just leave you the hell alone. But
they wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't expect that. But as in, what I was more trying to get is, with like, go to a member of staff there and just let them know that, you know, people are being like this or whatever, and hopefully they do something about it. But I don't know. Again, I've never been in the situation where I've had to go to someone and tell them, you know, this person's making me uncomfortable. So I don't know if it even works, if it even...
Yeah, I've never done that, so I wouldn't know. To be honest, I don't know if I would, like you said, I don't think I'd be able to, you know. I think that would make me feel worse.
Really?
Yeah, I think that would put me in an awkward situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think I have that confidence to go up to someone and say, look, kind of, what are you looking at?
I guess the thing is though, like if someone's staring at you, like while it is making you feel uncomfortable, and they could just go, I was just looking at you. Do you get what I mean? Like it's not, I guess it's not a crime to look at someone, even if it is in a quite a demeaning way or harassing way. But I guess it's just you, if you feel okay to like deal with that. And hopefully you just pick gyms and go to places that are more better environments for you, and where the people aren't basically dicks.
It's true, because different gyms, you do get different types of people, you get different age groups, and again, it depends on the times that you're going to. But I think that's a good one, just trying to pick a gym that suits you more. And it might take a few tries. Like I've tried a few different gyms and I know which ones I prefer now. So I think sometimes it might just take a few different tries of different gyms. Yeah.
This is one of my big things. Like I want to build somewhere. Like I think we already have, but like as in one that is actually our space is what I more mean. But somewhere where I feel my my daughters and my partner would be comfortable going to, or any lady that I know would be comfortable going to, or any man who doesn't feel quite comfortable in his own skin going to. And the way we've done that is by only having people who aren't basically people who care about what other people look like, I guess, who are friendly, who are inviting, the trainers are welcoming. Like we are all in a way where we just don't care about what your start point is, almost, whether it's like looks or your fitness levels or whatever. We don't care. All we care about is helping you improve and progress. And all we care about is other people being supportive of you. Like one of our values we spoke about on our podcast before is we are family, and that is you put other people's needs ahead of yours. And that's not to say that you can't look after your own goals, but I mean just considering other people. And we're considerate of everything, aren't we? Like in terms of like the way we do a move or how that may make, like, you know, we may ask someone to do like a bent over row where their bum's not towards the rest of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
It's towards the wall, especially if they're a new person, because we know that, you know, that may make someone feel uncomfortable. While you can't upload that when you're training on your own, hopefully finding a good trainer or a good training partner can help you with that. Make you feel more comfortable. Do you guys have any other quick fire tips to help people overcome? I know, Sadie, you've done loads of like posts and videos on this stuff, so you probably got quite a few up the sleeve, even though you've got no sleeves at the moment.
I was trying to think, what more can I say that I haven't? Do you mean more just to kind of build on their confidence and things like that?
Yeah. So I'll throw one out there like that because you said about like having, gaining more knowledge, more confidence. So that was one really good one. The other one you said was about, training with someone or training with like a trainer. So you, again, builds on your confidence, builds on your knowledge. Nico, yours was just...
I just thought of one.
Yeah, go for it.
So basically having a plan. So like having a program and things like that. So when you go to the gym, you're not just kind of twiddling your thumbs and thinking, oh, what can I do? Or what should I do next? Like knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to do for my session. And then you just get in there and get it done. So I definitely feel like having a program to follow, whether you've done it yourself, you've got it from a coach or whatever. I think that would definitely give you a bit more confidence going into the gym. So you know exactly what you're doing.
And the other thing I'd add to that is have a program that's built around what you feel comfortable doing and what you like doing. So what I mean by that is, so I'm just thinking of someone who asked me to design a program for them for the gym. They started going to a new gym, but they didn't feel quite comfortable like what they would do when they were with me as a coach. Because like we were doing like supersets, and we'd like do 4 exercises together or so on and so forth. And she would feel fine, like going from one machine to the other. And I'm saying, oh yeah, you could use that. That's fine. We'll just come back in another set. And, having that conversation with other members for her almost, because I'm dictating what we're doing in the session. So for her, it's just like train. It's easy going. I don't really care what, I don't have to talk to other people. My trainer will do that for me. But when you go to the gym by yourself, you have to then, rack up a bar or set up like a bench for a hip thrust or whatever. And that may make you feel a bit more uncomfortable. So being clever about what I put in the program, easy things that wouldn't take much setup, wouldn't make her feel uncomfortable, where she didn't have to go from one end of the gym to the other and constantly walk past loads of people through the sets. Maybe even set up something where she could train, do her whole session from one spot. So get someone to design a program for you that is more comfortable and built around your needs and your confidence levels just at that moment. And then when you build more confidence, you could do other things.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
a great point.
if a trainer just gives you like, I don't know, in your programs, you're going to do, wall facing handstands, and you're like, I don't even feel comfortable in this gym, and I'm like upside down and my t-shirt's going to fall down, and things like that are just not going to be good for you. Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So just put things in your program that you definitely would do. The other one I was going to say, I was thinking about this on the way home from the gym today, was do things that actually you feel confident in, like that make you feel good. So like if you're good at doing press-ups, put press-ups in your program.
Yeah.
Because you're going to feel like, oh yeah, I'm good at it. I'm going to feel confident and I'm going to do it. Don't say neglect your weaknesses or do an exercise you don't feel good at, but come to that later once you feel built a bit more confidence in that gym, in that environment, and then you can start doing like, I don't know, squats in the rack and stuff if that's the area you're building yourself up to get to. Because the gym does this for me anyway, is it builds my confidence. Because like say I put a little bit extra on the weight and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. It's like it gears you up. You're like, yes, like I'm capable, I'm powerful, I'm strong, whatever. And then you can transfer that to other areas of your life, and then you could do that with the same way, like picking certain exercises and so on.
That's a good point.
And one final one that really helps me when I'm having not confidence issues, but like probably a bit of a lower day, is like having hype songs on in my head. So rather than listening to the gym environment and everybody else and people talking and that sort of thing, I put my headphones in, which is one way to block out the noise and just kind of be in your own bubble. That's one tip. Just listen to any music, but listen to songs with lyrics that build you up. Now, this might not work for everybody, but I like listening to songs where the rapper or the artist or the singer or whatever is singing about or rapping, or the lyrics about like kind of self-confidence or building you up, or, talking about, I guess, like their self-belief raising lyrics.
Tell us your favourite gym track then. So we
Pardon?
Can go away and listen. Can you tell us your favourite gym track so we can go away and listen to it?
I'll design a playlist. But yeah, so like it's a bit like that, you know, when we did that Spartan race, Nikhil, I've told the story in the podcast before, where I just felt like I can't do this anymore. I started singing 50 Cent, "If I can't do this, it can't be done." And I was literally just singing that chorus over and over and running. And it's like to build your own self-confidence. So that's what I'm talking about. So get songs that you like listening to that make you feel good, that make you feel good about yourself, and listen to those. Because if you get a bit lost in the music and stuff, you may just, you know, that could be your own little personal trainer in your ear telling you can do this, and your little voice to make you feel like, you know, you're more than capable. This is where you belong, and you will be able to block out the other people around you almost. That definitely works for me.
I think having the music playing, like, especially when you are worried about maybe if other people looking at you or whatever, having your headphones on and getting just in that zone is like, for me especially, like, I don't then think about everything else that's going on around me. So yeah, the headphone thing is a really good point.
Now, we don't plan these podcast episodes in terms of like what we're going to say and stuff like that. We like them to be a bit more natural. We do have a little brief around what they're going to be about. So I'm going to ask you guys on the actual podcast, is there anything you'd like to add to what we've already spoken about in terms of like any tips and advice you've got for people? Any closing statements?
I think just a closing statement is those tips that we've given, if you try and combine even just one of them or two of them, or pick a few, especially if you are suffering with your confidence, just try. Something might work for you, but then something might not. So like the music thing might not work for you, but I'm sure there'll be another tip that we've given that might. So definitely give them a go if you are struggling with your confidence, and hopefully some of them will help you out, if not all of them.
And the other thing, Nico, anything you'd like to add?
I was just going to say the one that works really well for me is having like knowing what you're doing in the gym. I mean, for years I was a person that would go into the gym and just like hover around, maybe try this bit out for 10 minutes, that bit out for another, and then
stay on the cardio.
That would leave me, or just stay in the cardio, because I was so intimidated by everything else. But then going in thinking, right, okay, I'm gonna give the chest press a shot, gonna do this, that, and it was just like, okay, head down, like not head down, but you know, just you go in, do your thing, and it's you're almost in your own bubble, in your own zone, especially if you've got the headphones on and stuff, and it's a whole lot less intimidating. But again, it's one of those things. I think the fear of doing it and the hype of doing it sometimes maybe is a little bit more than actually going in and doing it. And once you complete it, it's almost like, oh, okay, fine, that wasn't so bad. I'll give it another shot, and you can keep going from there.
That's such a good thing to say, because like your own head can be the issue sometimes. Everything you're thinking is not actually what's true in reality.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're making it up, like when people are staring at you or whatever. I more mean like the build up of doing something
my experience of it was, oh, everyone's going to look at me, I'm going to do the wrong thing and make a fool of myself, and all of those sort of things were just fear building in my own head. So not related to that experience.
And the other thing, I say this to everyone I've ever coached who has told me they feel a bit uncomfortable in an environment, not to dismiss what they're saying. Obviously, I do loads of other things to make them feel more comfortable, like training in the quiet spot in the gym and that sort of thing. But I always say to them, everyone who's in the gym is probably worried about what you think of them as well. Well, most of them anyway. Like, when I go into the gym, I never go in looking at, oh, like, look at that person, or look what they're wearing, or look at what they look like, or what they're doing. I might be impressed by people. Oh, like, look how much that person can lift, or look at like that guy's physique. Like, I wish I had arms like that. Like that sort of thing, in terms of like more admiration as opposed to like judgmental. Hopefully no one's ever taken that into me looking at them and made them feel uncomfortable, whether it's a guy or a girl. But I more mean in terms of like, I always am more conscious about what I'm doing. Or like, people, even now, like I do like warm up stuff. Like most people don't warm up in a gym, especially guys. And I warm up in the weight area sometimes. So it's like, do people think I'm being weird with what I'm doing in this warm up? Does this like little donkey thing with the leg and like my hip rotation like that I'm doing look a bit strange, or like, I don't know, do people think I'm able to lift this weight because I'm so slim? Like little things like that like cross my mind. I'm more worried about myself and what other people think of me than I am of anybody else. And I guarantee you're probably listening to this thinking, yeah, I never judge other people when I'm at the gym. I'm always thinking about worrying about what I look like, or am I going to be able to hold this fart in when I press this weight? Like,
I've never had that. I don't know what you two are doing, but
what, you've never ever farted in the gym?
I've never had. Well, maybe, but
Put you on the spot here.
Well, maybe.
It's never slipped out by accident.
Do you know what? I'll tell you a story before we end this podcast right here. I was doing hip thrusts. And for anyone who doesn't know what hip thrusts are, it's where you place the bar over your hips. You're like just over the hip bit of your back's on the back of a bench, and you're thrusting your hips into the air and squeezing your bum. It's a booty building exercise. So I was doing the booty building exercise, and I had headphones in. I couldn't hear anything because it was really loud. I just let it go. And there was people around me. And I still to this day do not know if it was a silent one or a violent one.
Did anyone look at you?
Nobody looked at me. Maybe either they were being polite or it was a silent one. But to this day, I do not know. That's too. It was a gym that I felt very confident in because it's where we worked for a very long time. The people were very friendly. And I just thought, oh my God, let's see if it's going to be a funny moment or one embarrassing one for me. And I couldn't hold it, and I just went for it. It was, yeah. So a good place to end the podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed that little story about me farting. Sadie will fart soon in the gym, even though she's too polite to mention it on the podcast.
Way too polite.
As soon as we hit end, she's gonna be like, I did it this time. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next episode.
See you soon.
Bye now.